Hi, my name is Juliet Nnaji. I am a writer and a poet, and I was the winner for the Vweta Chadwick Poetry Prize 2022. Writing for me, or poetry for me, is a way to be heard, a way to be able to share my stories or talk about things that people will not usually talk about. I see things that happen around my circle, in my community, on social media, in communities where people do not have voices to share their stories. And poetry is a way for me to be able to share that story. And not just poetry, even when I write articles or anything I'm writing. For the Vweta Chadwick Poetry Prize 2022, I didn't want to apply because I am not a slam poet. I do not do awards, I don't do competitions, and not because I do not think that people who do competitions are not good people or they don't deserve to do competitions, but I feel like competitions put some kind of pressure on me to be able to want to do maybe things that are maybe not in my comfort zone, follow some rules and regulations. And yes, rules and regulations are good and all of that, but I just felt like it was not my thing. And then my best friend was like, just apply, just apply. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And then I applied, and then when I got the mail that I was shortlisted, I was like, okay, that's nice. And then it was on the day, and then I won. And I felt like, or I feel like, even when I watched the videos, I was too shocked to be happy because, you know, when you do not expect to win, like you're just applying. And a lot of times people read that poem and then they're like, oh, it spoke to me. And I am glad for that opportunity to be able to inspire people, to be able to touch people through my words, through my writings, or what I am willing to share with the world. A lot of times, most of my poetry, most of my writing typically focuses on social injustice and particularly how it affects women. And I feel like I typically go that route because art is a widely consumed medium. Music, poetry, writing, art itself. So I share my poems about social injustice because when people accept like your art, they can be able to see the things or the stories you're willing to share through your art. A lot of times you see on Twitter, you see on social media how people talk about their problems. So maybe somebody comes out to say, oh, when I was 5, my mom did FGM, female genital mutilation, or I went to work and I was harassed. And then other people come out and say, oh, me too, or I have PCOS, or I have endometriosis. And sharing those stories helps people who do not have the courage, or who do not have the words, or who do not understand what they are going through, be able to connect and see that, oh, I'm not alone. And then they might get tips and know how to resolve that issue at that time. And even if they don't get answers to their questions, it can help them feel like they are not alone. And I think that poetry helps people who enjoy poetry to be able to learn about those social injustice. I remember after my winning poem, I met somebody, one of the communities that Project ASHA touch through their outreaches and through all the programs they do for the women in, for instance, the Bako community. And then she was able to find poetry, and through poetry, she was able to start winning stuff and be able to help her community, help her family, and share stories about things that are going on in her life and what she was seeing around her, writing about the things that are happening in her circle. It gave every other person who does not know what it feels like to grow up in the Paco community to be able to hear the stories that she was sharing, to help her, or maybe if they cannot help her, help other people in their circle. Because sometimes you share one story and maybe you think, oh, this might not help anybody. But then there's this person down the road who, because of the story you shared, be able to understand things about their lives or understand things happening other people in their lives and be able to lend a helping hand. So I think that poetry talking about social injustice, especially as it affects women, is such a powerful tool. You see people talk about, or why do people talk about women all the time? But like, women are going through so much, and it is because women are now getting the power. Men talk a lot, but women do not. We are shy. We don't want to be seen as too much. We don't want to be seen as we're talking too much. We don't want to be seen as too bold. So we try to mend things down. But because people are coming out now to share their stories, to say, oh, I was raped, or my boss did this, or oh, I did this, a lot of people are seeing this injustice, helping them not be able to go through that. So women that are coming now, like younger generations of women, they are understanding that this is not right. I'm not going to take this. When somebody touches me in this kind of way, I know it is not right. When my boss tells me, or when my teacher in school tells me, I need you to peck me here so I can give you an A, I know that it is not right. And it is because women are sharing their stories through their different forms of art, or just by saying something on social media. Vweta Chadwick was the founder of Project ASHA, and the Vweta Chadwick Poetry Prize was done in memory of her. And, reading her story and, seeing all the pictures, even fighting for girls, like, also inspired me in terms of how I write my poems, or how I, write about women going forward. And I think that she left a great legacy, and as her memory is remembered, other girls, young girls, and even older girls or older women are going to be touched by it, and bringing forward what she had in mind when she started all this. The 4th edition of the Vweta Chadwick Poetry Prize is happening in December 2025. The theme this year is Hear Our Voices, Heal This Land. I want to see you there.